beautiful muses. Welcome to CosmoMuse Tarot. Today we have a reading that is all about a message that a council of elders wants to bring to you. So we've got 4 piles today. Look over them, feel into which one is drawing you in. There may be, with this reading, it is definitely okay if you feel called to more than one pile. Feel free to pause here, and when you are ready, the timestamps for your piles are down in the descriptions, and I will see you in your readings. Hello, Pile 1. Welcome to your message from a council of elders. And when I was thinking about what kind of reading to do, I felt like a message was supposed to be delivered. So I was kind of just going through the different things where I normally would tap into messages that come through me. And none of them were really hitting. And like suddenly I just felt this presence of like a council, which is not typical for me. So it was pretty immediate and clear. I'm not really sure who this council is, but I have very, like wise, loving energy from them. But yeah, they have messages. So for you, you were drawn into a pile that this council wants you to know that there are sort of personal revolutions either going on or about to happen in your life that mirror external sort of big catalytic events in the world. And no doubt if you come to this when I put it up, you probably sense that. You may come at a totally different time and maybe there's some other catalytic event in the air, but there's something, it's not like you are connected to those outer world catalytic things, but there's something in like, whatever astrology is being reflected in that is also being reflected in you in a much more personal way. So it could be worth, noticing feelings that come through you by watching big upheavals in the world and what it turns up in you, and turning those feelings towards your personal life and asking, is something going on in my personal life that feels like a microcosm of this? They're also saying that you are holding a kind of charge in you. So in your personal life, there's a charge in you that is, it's like it's liberating you. I think in a sense you're already liberated from something, and that's what it is. It's because you already have kind of a liberated sense in you. And looking at these cards, I'm going to maybe say it's around something in around work, around material life, around finances. Not saying that you're liberated in the sense that like you don't have financial worries, but like there's something electric in your charge about like being liberated from seeing the material world the way that the norm sees it, or seeing something about work, something about career, something about material life in a way that is a very liberated point of view. It's like you already hold that charge. You've already been through some things that like have given you a very expansive, very spiritual sense. It's sort of like you have a very spiritual point of view around these things, and that has liberated you in a way that makes you feel expansive in the way you approach these things. It's like you see everything very differently around whatever hits for you. And so since you've already kind of been through this type of energy, you've already been through a revolution of your own and your own energy and your own point of view, it's sort of like it's in your field, your vibration. And in the sense that kind of like attracts like, you're being attracted to places and things and people that are on the precipice of going through this. And so you may have this sense of like, everywhere I show up, everything falls apart. Everything explodes. And it's not your presence per se. It would happen with or without you. It's just that you understand that energy. You've been through it. You hold that charge yourself. And so it's not even that things need your help. Like, it's not even drawing you in because you have something to help there, because you've been through it. It's just that it's a like attracts like thing, and you just end up being constantly in these places where things are falling apart. And Spirit's wanting to say this is not your fault. If these things affect you, they're just expanding your own perception here to a much more spiritual perception. And the things that do fall apart, that do kind of all of a sudden go into some radical change or revolution or upheaval, the purpose of that, for whatever that thing is for them to shake up their point of view, for that company, that person, that material container, whatever it is. It's like something more spiritual is trying to alter their perception, or its perception, or a perception. And you can take it to just continue to broaden yours because you're there, or you can just detach from any feelings of like it's your fault or something's wrong with you, or like, why is life always crazy around you? It's just like a phase that you have gone through and you haven't quite shaken off. It's just, like, it might be in your personal transits or something that this energy is around you personally. But it's expanding perception. And so, the main message I'm feeling is like, don't take it personally. Don't feel like this is forever. This is a cycle. It will not, like, I'm not getting a time frame, but I don't feel like it's long. I feel like it's a year at most. You know, it'll be different, I'm sure, for everybody. And then looking, I actually didn't read the wording under the Flamingo Unity Heart. It says you are being called to work on collective healing. So I think you're supposed to be in places too to witness upheaval. And in that sense, even though you're not responsible to fix it, you have kind of an anchoring perspective that allows what's going on with the upheaval to feel, it's like you're able to be the calm in the center of a storm and say, this is sort of a spiritual upheaval, and just kind of giving off those vibes so other people around you can calm down, look at the bigger picture, liberate for themselves around things that are taking place, broaden their own perspectives, shake up how they think. It's like you can be an anchor for that kind of energy and really help in giving a certain space for more collective things to excuse me, to drop into the energy you're able to hold in the center and come into the center themselves and more calmly kind of observe, take it in, and understand that there's some kind of expansion taking place, some sort of alteration in perspective taking place. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the tarot cards under this to get a little extra context. And firstly just looking at the watercolors and not really looking at the symbols and numbers and stuff. Yeah, the first thing I'm noticing is like you're able to draw parallels about things going on for yourself, and because you can do it for yourself, you can hold that energy to be able to help other people do it for themselves, to model that. If, you know, it's like not forcing that on people. If they notice, they will mirror it themselves. It's not for you to put on people or try to help people see. It's just doing it yourselves. You model it, and other people may notice it and model it, copy that modeling, kind of take that up to understand parallels for themselves in their lives and in the world. And yeah, it's like a very calming thing. And I'm feeling it sort of like being able to come full circle on something, connect some dots, as well as come full circle with both of these. It's sort of like filling in the blank spots, connecting dots, coming full circle. In a really deep way, tuning into the colors, there's a depth here, in a really calming, grounding, deep, intuitive way that then helps that liberation release, be free. You know, so like a person or a group of people or some scenario going through some kind of upheaval, initial response and reaction to that can be kind of gripping and clinging to the past, or clinging to what's old, or clinging to what was. But these parallels you're able to model, that you can see, and this ability to bring certain things full circle and connect dots and fill in the holes. For the people paying enough attention, or the things, or whatever, the scenario is really able to latch onto your energy. It helps them to let go and to release and have their own liberation in whatever shakeup is being felt. Even if it's, you know, difficult to swallow at first, there's some kind of release that happens. But you hold some kind of key. You hold some kind of key for others around you, to be able to get how to integrate what's happening and how to use it as a springboard to imagine something different. Imagine a new world, imagine a more beautiful world, a different world, a better world, a different perception, something that just liberates whatever had gotten a little stuck, that wasn't being seen or understood was stuck. Yeah, so now looking at the numbers up top. Oh, this is actually a card unique. It's funny. This card is unique to this deck, and it has to do with spirit. So it's very spiritual energy you're holding, and very spiritual upheavals happening. Metaphorically, I don't mean that literally. But there is some kind of, for you, some kind of divine timing. For error. Calm, keep your mind calm. Find the focuses. Find certain things to focus on to keep it calm. What's the main focus? It's calm mental energy is your key here. To access this, what we've been talking about, this like thing in you that knows how to model something. So even though this card says teacher, it's not this teacher that's like actively and assertively explaining things or teaching things. It's back to that, like a teacher in the sense that you can model something, and those that are paying attention, the way you're modeling, it's easy for them to drop into and then mimic. And then, oh, victory, 6 of Courage. There's some kind of victory that you will feel at the end of this, whenever this cycle ends for you, whenever this phase of life that feels like catalyst energy, upheavals, radical changes, when it ends, where you're going to end up will to you feel like a sense of victory. Okay, so to end this message, we're just going to get a feather a message from the Divine Feather Messenger. Let's see. White Owl, the wisdom and messages of the divine are within you. Yeah. You hold very, very wise elder teacher energy and understanding. Like, you guys really are either old souls or souls that are very experienced in catalytic things. And just tune into that owl energy. It's observing, it's calm, it has a wisdom about it. You contain that and you can bring that into these scenarios that feel a little bit out of control sometimes to others. I think that you have a sense in you of like, this is part of a life cycle of how things happen, and you have a certain wisdom around that, and that's it. Gives you this ability to hold a more divine center around things, a calmness and a wisdom. Yeah, okay, so that is your message from the Council of Elders, and I hope it resonated. If so, I always appreciate the likes and shares and subscribes, and definitely always very grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. It's nice to have that human touch. But regardless of any of those things, I am just really grateful for those of you that come and support my channel. So thank you for that. And I hope you have a beautiful day, and we'll see you in future readings. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your message from the Council of Elders. I'm not exactly sure who these elders are, other than I feel a very wise and loving and for our highest good kind of energy, and I just felt them kind of spontaneously come through and wanting to bring a message through me to you. So if you picked this pile, what I'm seeing is there's two sides of the coin here. So although this starts out in a way you may not like, hold tight. It does look like there's something that you're going to need to walk away from, that may feel difficult to do, that may bring some grief, that may bring some disappointment, that may haunt you a little bit. There is a person around you, though, who is very wise and compassionate and loving and can act like a guide for you in this. Maybe they've done this themselves. Maybe it's a higher being, like a spirit guide. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's a mentor. But there's something that will get your attention. You don't need to seek this. It will get your attention as you're going through whatever grief is about to, or maybe you're already in the midst of, come up for you. You'll hear it like a bell ringing in your environment. So when you hear that call, even though you don't need to initially sync them, once you hear that call, that ringing, not obviously not literally a bell, but some kind of offering and call to you, some help resonating around you. It's then up to you to walk toward that, to accept it, to say yes. And they will hold many keys. They will hold many keys for you, and they will help you to let grief move through you and not get stuck in you. If we get grief that gets really stuck in us, it hardens our heart and we sink to the bottom of our overwhelm. And I feel this guide is someone that can help to allow you to move your grief through you rather than let it get stuck. Not saying you shouldn't have grief or that grief is bad or trying to speed up the process. It's not that. It's just someone or something that really knows how to help it move in you, what to do with it, how to use it, how to feel it. Yeah, so not only that will they have keys to help you with the grief, but they will have keys that will help you to see when, how walking away from whatever it is you're going to be walking away from. This could be a person, it could be a home, it could be a city, it could be a job, it could be an old version of yourself, someone you care about past, there's so many things this could be, and it will probably be very different for all of you, but something that will, feel disappointing and bring some grief that you're not ready to let go of. Quite even, like one analogy is if like you move for school or work, but you, it's terrifying because you've only lived in your hometown your whole life, and you feel like you're losing that connection to your roots and safety and comfort zones. But there's a side of you that also knows that this is exciting and needed. You can still have grief and attachments and things that are hard to let go of. So all I'm saying, like for some of you, this may be harder than others. And for some of you, it may be something more like that, where it's just like this challenge, but you have these attachments that you don't know and that fill you with grief that you don't know how to deal with. There's a huge spectrum here. So I'm just giving an example of like, it doesn't have to be like a loss of a purse, like a relationship or a death, but whatever it is for you, there is someone that, can help with this, that has keys to the things we talked about, but also keys to know how to look at the opportunities out the other side, know how to find moments of levity, know how to feel like even amidst your grief, there are times that call for laughter and that need laughter and play and lightness, and that will help you to get in touch with a side of you that's already there, that you're already aware of, but that needs to really be tapped into. There's a strength in you that knows how to feel sort of the immensity of all and the potential because of that, that's just inherent in life. So there's these other things that whatever this guide is, that is really going to help connect you into a lighter side, a strength, and a potentiality. And I think in the end, once you get to the other side, and there's no pushing for this to happen faster than you're ready for, but once you are to the other side, I do think a new light awaits that's really, really beautiful, that will be rewarding you for your strength and for your ability to hold beauty and play and lightness, despite things that feel immensely difficult. A new light will really be honoring, acknowledging, and rewarding that with something beautiful on the other side. But no rush to get there. It's not rushing you through. It's just saying when you're ready, there is something really beautiful on the other side of whatever this grief is. Okay, we're going to do a few tarot cards underneath to get more context. And I'm initially just going to be looking at these watercolor shapes and lines and whatnot before I look at, the symbols and words. Yeah, it's so interesting. I'm seeing like goes from really heavy to lightening up to really playful and beautiful here, just like I felt. So initially, yeah, it does. Like this image feels so, compared to the others and compared to what we've just said, it feels weighty. What this card symbolizes, the initiate of intuition, whatever it is you are going through and that does bring some grief your way, everything holds growing potential and lessons within it. And this is one that is whatever this grief is about, it is initiating you into a new dimension of life, a new understanding of your emotional nature and body, which is actually a really, really beautiful thing and something that a lot of people need to be initiated into a lot more so than they've ever been. I think you are going to find, I do think there's going to be some resistance to an emotional nature here. Even if you're an emotional person already, like it might, whatever level of emotionality you are, this grief will feel like a step beyond what you felt, but it's going to help you as you push into it and find that guidance of how to move it through you. It is going to wake up a new spark of instinct in you, a new skillfulness, a new instinct, a new practiced sense of how to hold your emotions in a deeper, more mature, more beautiful, more rich way. And it's going to be really distinct to you, very personalized in how that is. And so I do get the sense that the guide coming through, it's not going to be like A, B, C, D. They're going to be helping you to tune into you, to tap into your inner knowings, to tap into your particular needs. They're more of a mirror for you, is what I feel like. And then yeah, I just feel like suddenly this new instinct that comes through in you, this new deeper experienced emotional depth, finds this flow, finds this connection to a playfulness and a strength. It does come from holding a lot of weight, for sure. It may feel like a lot at first. Like you may, like once you kind of start to feel like you're getting over the hump, you may have like a few of those moments or days or evenings that feel maybe not so healthy, but sometimes are still needed, where you're blowing off some steam and like however you might do that. I won't get into details because you're all going to do that in different ways, but sometimes we go overboard in how we blow some steam off, right? But at the same time, sometimes the weight of what we've been carrying requires a little bit of overboard and blowing off steam. And I do feel a sense of that maybe at the, once you're over the main hump, like a little bit of as long as it doesn't become a pattern or a problem, like a few moments that you may not be entirely proud of, but still sense like, but I kind of needed that. And it's okay. I'm just telling you right now, like it's okay as long as whatever you do to blow off steam isn't a problem or doesn't negatively impact other people in your life. And then it's just like suddenly life picks up and it's alive with new light, with new vision, with new things happening, new people, new things, new opportunities, like a lot happening that feels so exciting and so fresh and so newly attuned to the depth you've gained. And again, just reiterating, there's no rush to get there. That's waiting. Is all it's saying is that's waiting for you. Get there in the time you need to get there, though. Okay, let's get to, and there's a divine feather message for you guys that just popped right out. The Oriole, a new creative venture is on the horizon. See it as a positive change. So for some of you, this may be something creative that you are having to let go of, that maybe, you know, took a lot of energy and time and whatnot from you, and it's hard to kind of move past it, you know. But the letting go will bring in something new that will be a positive change. But, you know, it can be hard to unfurl our grip from certain things we've gotten attached to. But something that has a creative spirit tied to it that you've put a lot of energy in. That's what I'm feeling for a lot of you. It's about that you're having to kind of unfurl from. Okay, so this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If it resonated, I always appreciate the things like, share, and subscribe. And I'm definitely always very grateful for kind and thoughtful comments, even if it's just a little emoji. It helps me feel the human presence out there. But even beyond that, even if none of those things align for you, I am really grateful for you being here and for supporting my channel. So thank you for that. And I hope to see you in future readings. Have a beautiful day wherever you are. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your message from the Council of Elders. I'm not sure who this council is. I haven't had any download about the specificity of that per se, but when this reading came to me, I felt like a message was supposed to come to you guys through me, and I was trying to tap into what it was coming from, and I just had this sense. It was like a council of elders. What I can say is they do feel wise, loving, and having our highest good in mind. And I just got this sense they've got messages for us, so here we are. Okay, so this top row is sort of giving me the overview of what this message is about. They are coming through to say that it's time for you to get a little bit more proactive, step into some maturity and productivity around putting your dreams into action. Or, you know, it may be about your dreams putting into action, or it may be about certain advice that you're known for giving to people, that people come to you for certain advice where you don't always see the results of that. It could be a little bit of both. I feel like these elders are saying, like, you need to ramp this up. And one thing that may be holding you back is you haven't felt enough of that clarity in the cause and effect of knowing how to put your dreams into action, or seeing how you affect others in helping them to do that for themselves. And they will I don't know that it's them. I kind of got the message, not them. You will be seeing with more clarity in the coming days and weeks, I am assuming. See how that felt by saying days and weeks. Yeah, days and weeks. That felt right. You will be getting this feedback in the coming days and weeks of seeing with clarity a lot of cause and effect around the types of dreams you have kind of put out there or helped other people initiate for themselves. And this is saying that what is going to be reflected, what you are going to take away from seeing the cause and effect. I think you maybe hold some fears that like sometimes you don't know if you've made the right decisions or said the right thing. But what's going to start being reflected back to you very soon is the positive power that you couldn't know existed until it was reflected back to you, and it's going to start being reflected back to you. And I think it's because you already have ramped up a little, maybe, in putting assertion towards dreams, assertion towards inspiring others to go for dreams. I hope this is all making sense. Things you've spoken into being as well. Spelled, spoken into being, dreams you've sourced and spoken. You're going to be seeing cause and effect very clearly and in a really powerful, beautiful light. And it's going to empower you. And it should, or they're saying it should at least. I think it will empower you, but they're reaffirming that, like, don't hold back, don't doubt it, that it's time to get more assertive about this and put yourself out there more. Put your dreams or your ability to inspire dreams out there in a much bigger, much more confident, much more daring way. And they want you to know that it is now the time for you to step out of that not a bad darkness, but like a hidden away, hermity way of doing this, into a more present, like into your presence with this, like shining something about you and the dreams you have or the dreams you inspire. It feels like I don't know if it's because my channel's name is CosmoMuse, so I'm always thinking about the muse, but it feels like muse energy. And I would imagine I draw a lot of muses here because of my name. I think this is inspiring or connecting to a lot of people that have muse energy that don't maybe have confidence or doubt that they, or that they doubt that you do. This is saying it's time to step into the light with that, because what you may sometimes feel as like imaginal or far-fetched or fantastic has actually made a profound impact and has actually produced a lot of beauty. And it's sort of like you need to see that reflected back to you in real world, tangible ways for you to get it. Like, this is so much more important than you've realized, and it's not something to be hidden away. It's time to, you are the light. Step into the light with it. Really beautiful message. Okay, we're going to look at some tarot cards to get a little more context. And I'm initially just going to be looking at the watercolor vibes before I look at sort of any of the text on them to know what their symbols represent. I feel from this one, I feel doubt, I feel hiding, I feel crossing yourself out. It's a lot of negative self-talk here. It needs to stop. Negative, like blocking your energy. It's like you put breadcrumbs out there, but then you block the full force of what it could be. You block your own dreams. You block inspiring as many dreams as you could inspire. This is saying it's time to stop that. It's time to turn your flame up. Yeah. Time to turn your flame way up. Really boldly. And this is, to me, trust your inner knowing. This is trust your mind's eye. This is the third eye to me. And moving over here, it's interesting because it's almost like, oh, I love this. It's sort of like you have to initially step into your light and just a presence, but then you're able to trust it enough to then be that more, I know this is more black, but I'm feeling, for whatever reason, a violet. Maybe it's because those have some violet in it. The black to me in this feels more like a violet light, so shining your dreams. So initially you have to just shine your presence and be like, it's okay to be seen. And then once you can kind of sit in that, then you can start really, instead of holding back what dreams you could put into the world for yourself and inspire in others, you then that dark night, primordial soup, incubation womb, potentiality, creative, rich space, then you're able to like let that shine as more of this violet dark light that's so beautiful. But it's sort of like you have to turn on just your presence first, and then you can let these dreams flow from you, fire out of you. Yeah, super beautiful. I love this message for you guys. I really hope you are listening to it. We're going to end with a divine feather message. Oh, and that just fell right out. Duck. Find comfort and balance in simple ways. You have support all around you. I think that as you do this, you need to also recognize that it doesn't have to be intricate. I get the feeling that you hold just a certain presence and energy about you, that it doesn't need to be decorated. It doesn't need to be made anything bigger, more intricate, more glamorous, more anything. Like keep it simple. The more you kind of try to layer on it to make it feel like it's worthy of being seen as a presence, the more you actually hide its presence. So like keep it very simple. Just what's in you, let be more seen, and the presence of it. Like don't doll it up, don't doctor it up, don't anything to it. Just let it be. And you're going to start to see so much support come in around this. Not only supporting, people seeing you putting your dreams out more, but that you're helping them with their dreams too. And they start supporting you because you're supporting them, and it just becomes this beautiful feedback loop that's, really alive and gorgeous and feeding of each other. So yeah. Excuse me, my goodness. Yeah, so get out there, be a little bit more bold and proactive with dreams and with inspiring dreams. And yeah, I hope this resonated. If so, I always appreciate the things like, share, subscribe, and definitely always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments. Even if it's just like a little emoji, it's nice to feel that human presence out there. But regardless of any of that, you don't have to do any of those things. I am also just simply grateful that you come and support my channel. So thank you for being here. And I will hopefully see you in future readings. Have a beautiful day wherever you are. Hello, Pile 4. Welcome to your reading with a message from, the Council of Elders. I do not know who this Council of Elders are. They came to me. But what I can say and why I accepted letting messages come from them is that they do feel very wise, loving, and having our highest good in their as a priority. So getting into your reading, this top row is going to hold the general overview of what this message is about, and then we'll do some extra tarot down here. So this is a really beautiful message that is coming through to you guys. It's saying that there's so much that has recently assimilated in you around having a much better connection. I don't know if you've been doing a lot of work on self-love and confidence, but something's really starting to come together with that. And you may at this point just feel an inner sense of this, but they're wanting to let you know that that is very soon going to start emanating out of you. And they say, let it, flaunt it. It may feel, because this is something you've worked on and maybe been on the humbler, more humble side of this, it may feel like off-putting to you to flaunt, but they're saying, no, flaunt it. Flaunt the self-love, flaunt the beauty that is starting to churn through you. It's something that should be shared into the world, that only beautifies the world and inspires more beauty. And it's saying that to really stay plugged into this. I feel like there's been, a lot of this work that's been done around self-love and confidence has been through moving out of leading your life on the mental plane through your mind and flipping that perspective and really, really getting in touch with your heart and letting your heart lead the way. This has been the key factor that is really changing things for you, even though that might just be internal at this moment. But they're saying, get ready. That external mirroring is about to really both flow out of you, emanate from you, but also be mirrored back to you by how your external world starts to mirror what's going on internally for you. And it's saying that there can be a hiccup here. I don't know how else to say it, a hiccup. I'll say a temptation. There can be sort of a temptation to quickly get back up into mind and start overanalyzing and overthinking and using the mind to drive again. There's little patterning you're still needing to kind of work on in that. So just be aware of it and make a daily ritual of checking in with your heart, each morning and each evening, and just having compassion with it, setting out with an intention, but then when you check in the evening of how you did, say you're oh, you know what, that one got away from me. I spent the whole day leading through my mind. Don't beat yourself up. Say okay, well, I see it. That's great that I can see that. So I'll learn from that, so it's have compassion about it. It takes time to reconfigure, rewire. But it's sort of I feel the message coming through that it's you're doing so well, stick in there. And as things start to reflect more beautifully, don't lose that. Don't forget it, because that's the thing that is creating more beauty around you, because it's creating more beauty in you. And if you lose sight of it, it will go back to where it had been, I guess I would say, where it's been hard maybe for you to connect to self-love or confidence or a sense of beauty in general. And it's saying the more and more you practice and do this and start to move through life through your heart, the more you should trust the visions it gives you, the beauty it knows how to. Moving through your heart is being able to be an artist that paints a canvas here. this is like the archetype you start stepping more and more into by being in your heart, is realizing your life as a canvas and that you are the painter and you can choose how to paint. And if you get in your head about this, you just get confused and overwhelmed. But if you just let your heart take the lead, don't think about it, it will paint so much beauty into your life and in you and around you. And and beyond the heart, the next step it's at, these elders are saying that I think you're connecting already a little bit, but there's like a push here to like, yes, like more of this, really think about this, is that connecting your heart to your sacral chakra. So in this card, it talks about womb healing, but I'm feeling this as the sacral chakra, which is that womb area, but it's less gendered and more general in terminology, because I'm feeling it more as like a sensitivity that you're needing to connect to. So when you place the centers of your palm over your lower abdomen, where the womb space would be, the sacral chakra, like one over the other. So say my womb were under this bottom hand, like these points will connect your heart to where they touch. So if you put those on your womb space and do breaths like every morning and every evening, not only are you starting to pay attention to your heart, but your heart is also listening more deeply to that area that has a lot of flow, sensitivity, creativity, sexuality, an ability to paint and move and create life. There's something coming through of like, it's time for you to really plug into that connection and really color your life through that heart leading and heart connection to the sacral. And yeah, just looking at, I didn't even see this word before, sovereignty. I think it will also bring a more self-sustaining kind of quality around you. And a lot of vision. I can't help but think about all these, the peacock feathers that look like eyes, and the painter. It's like, trust the visions. You're going to have a lot of different visions coming through suddenly. And trust them, and trust, these are the visions, these are the eyes, and this is what you end up painting. It's like, let things flow. You're going to get into much more fluid, beautifying energy. So just like practice, work on this, stay with it, keep going. You're doing so well is what I feel like. Keep going. Okay, let's look at these tarot cards. And I'm mostly going to, rather than looking at the card they represent, I'm mostly going to be looking at the actual watercolors themselves, the shapes and colors and whatnot. I'm feeling fluidity. I'm feeling movement, flow, fluidity, getting things moving. Maybe there's been some stagnation in your life due to having been, and I don't know if it's like you're like a setting that got into you from childhood, or if it was just like a couple year phase of your life, whatever it is, like as you have come more through your mind, at least lately. I think there's been a stagnation of flow and movement and change in your life, and this is going to kickstart that in like a really beautiful, enlivening, as well as deep way. Really gorgeous. The heart, the green is the heart, and that it's not quite indigo, but it feels sort of closer to third eye than crown chakra to me. So it's sort of like heart. opening, doing this work, we're connecting more chakras here. So doing that work of connecting heart to sacral, letting that create beauty and vision in your life, something about that starts to also enliven your third eye, starts to wake up your third eye more so than it has been. I do get the sense that you have a pretty strong third eye in general, but like maybe it's just been overlooked a little bit, like more, that's what this is. It's like more awareness of what the third eye is doing. Because I'm getting sort of this message like, no, they have like a great third eye already, but they're not aware of it, right? So when you're not even, certain things can function while we're still not really aware of it. And I think that's maybe what's kept your life somewhat afloat and somewhat positive in a lot of senses, but it's kind of been in this autopilot place, and it's like some new awarenesses are coming on board of your third eye and what it does for you and how it works in you and how it has a certain knowing that adds to the conversation of what we've already, of all these, energy centers. It feels like heart. It's like your mind has been aware of the third eye, and that has kept your life somewhat on track, but your heart, because you haven't been using your heart as the leader, its connection to your third eye hasn't been very strong. But as you more and more practice moving through your heart, that connection really wires, and it brings just like a much deeper and more beautiful awareness of how you can use your third eye, what it's supposed to be there for, how it adds to the conversation of the beauty coming up. I couldn't help I didn't mean to look at, I've been trying to kind of glaze over the wording, but it just, I don't know, it stuck out to me for some reason. So the Two of Courage is Two of Fires. And that is always, for me, it's my personal interpretation. I don't know anyone else necessarily exactly that interprets this way, but I feel Two of Wands as portal energy. It's walking through the threshold. And so it's like a new threshold of like a much more aligned, vibrant, healthy, alive, passionate sense of you that you're walking into. Like, it's like that portal is leading you to that functionality, kind of. It's like a portal to an upgraded you, to the you that moves through your heart. And then doing a good job of not looking at the wording on this one, I am feeling, this feels like an ear to me. You're even hearing differently. Maybe you've struggled to like listen really well to life, to others, to life, to the world. It's like something's changing there. It's like you're listening, you're hearing things different because of this change and turnaround in how you perceive and lead through your heart. It's these reorientations and activations are allowing you to hear in a much more beautiful, subtle, and a more nuanced and subtle way. It's like you hear the things between the sounds. You're hearing the subtle suddenly. Okay, so looking at the symbols, we have 9 of Gratitude. So this is plugging into the sovereignty. This is all about, like, something about this also may empower you in a material way, potentially in your work, potentially through just life suddenly bringing beauty, delivering beauty and resources and inheritances to you. I don't know. It could be work. It could be more receiving of things. But either way, it's like suddenly there's like just like a more self-sufficient, sovereign self, ability to be more beautifully independent, more interdependent than like a codependent even, or a dependent. It's like shifting an interdependence and a new ability to be more in you, to be more confident in you and in love with you, which allows you to be more independent. And being independent versus dependent or codependent or any of those other iterations then allows you to flow in and out of interdependence, where you work with others for connection, for beauty, for community, not because you need to, but because it enhances life, right? Yeah, gorgeous. Really beautiful reading for you guys. Okay, let's get a last feather message to end this for you guys. I feel like this one. We've got Blue Jay. The time is right to access and master your abilities. Do so with humility and control. Well, I mean, I said don't be humble, but maybe this is just saying like don't get out of control with that, because that might put you back in your head, right? So stay in your heart, which will keep you at that right level of humble and flaunting the right thing to do in a moment. But yeah, it's like, I feel like you're newly accessing certain things, and this is saying like use that, master that, really dive in, really put yourself into life right now and the things you're accessing, because these are things that the elders are saying you would really benefit your life to give focus and attention and time and energy to bring some mastery to these things. They'll do nothing but continue to make life more and more beautiful, for you to further and further love yourself and then others, right? Yeah, gorgeous reading. Okay, I think this is the latest, the darkest, latest one I've ever, usually I try to do these during the day because I love natural light, but I had a bit of a time crunch and just wanted to get these done before tomorrow. So I've gone into the night. It's the latest I've done these. So that's interesting too. That feels, I don't know, the richness of the night, the beauty, it's more feminine, right? I don't know. It feels very aligned to this. Go into some dream space, I think, like connect to those dream spaces as well. That's just extra thing coming through now. Anyway, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. I hope it resonated. If so, I always appreciate the things like, share, subscribe, and definitely always very appreciative for kind and thoughtful comments. Even just a little emoji is fun to see. To me, it's more about just feeling a human presence out there than anything. But regardless, even if none of those things are done, I am still just immensely grateful for those of you that come and support my channel and get things from my readings or enjoy them, whatever. So thank you for being here, and this is where I will leave you. So I hope you have a beautiful day wherever you are. All right, see you guys.